we'll be talking about cross-text connections. These are worth about 12 points on the SAT, but every once in a while they can be more, so you always need to prepare for all these concepts. So here's how we'll do this. As always, we'll look how to identify cross-text connection questions. We'll build a formula to solve the questions, and then we'll solve a practice question together. So, how to identify these? These are the only question with two passages on the reading section. So instead of the normal one passage, there'll be a text 1 and a passage and a text 2 and a passage. So these are really easy to know. Here's the formula we'll be working with. It's a little longer than most, but once you get it down, it's really easy. And just like a math formula, you should implement it on all cross-text connection questions. So, step 1. Skip the passage and find what the question is asking about. So we're going to go straight past the passage and go straight to the question. Step 2, find and understand where in each passage the topic in question is being talked about. Okay? Step 3, look for the tone of each passage. So if it's arguing against it or it's supporting it, we need to know the relationship between the two passages. Step 4, find the answer based on the above information. So let's start with step 1. So we're going to skip both passages, and this is what I mean how there's two passages, and we're going to find what the question is talking about. Based on the texts, how would the author of text 2 most likely respond to the claim in text 1 that prioritizing the Van Allen belts over emerging space opportunities could hinder progress in more economically promising areas? Okay, so let's find what it's actually asking about. It's saying, how is the author of text 2, so how is this guy going to respond to the author of text 1, text 1? Specifically, the claim that says we shouldn't prioritize the Van Allen belts as other space opportunities are more promising, and if we prioritize the Van Allen belts, it could hinder progress. So we're going to keep that in mind. We're going to see what text 2 would say about prioritizing other things over Allen belts. So let's first understand it in text 1. In the early 1950s, James Van Allen's pioneering research led to the discovery of the Earth's radiation belts, which was a monumental step forward in space science. These belts help protect the Earth from a harmful solar radiation, making them an essential study area for developing technologies that ensure satellite safety and astronaut protection. However, with our growing ambitions in space exploration, okay, so this is where it looks like it's talking about what we're wanting to see, what we should focus on. However, with our growing ambitions in space exploration aiming towards Mars colonization and the commercial potential of asteroid mining, research funds and public interest might be better invested in these newer frontiers. So essentially, this text 1 is saying, Van Allen belts are cool, but they're not as important and we should invest in other things instead. While the Van Allen belts have provided foundational knowledge and continue to offer insights, prioritizing them over emerging space opportunities could hinder progress in more economically promising areas. So this is what it's saying. He's saying we should not spend our money on Van Allen belts because other things are worth our time more, essentially, and our money. So now we need to see if text 2, the author here, is going to agree or disagree with that. And we just need to understand where it's talked about in this, and then we're going to understand the tone of this passage in relation to it. So, the discovery of Van Allen radiation belts in 1958 remains a cornerstone of space science with ongoing relevance. So just right here, here's a hint that he thinks they're still important, as he's saying there's ongoing relevance that extends far beyond historical interest. So he's saying they're still important just by that first sentence. We'll keep going though. These belts not only shield life on Earth from deadly solar and cosmic radiation, but also serve as a natural laboratory for studying particle physics. The Van Allen belt still offers untapped potential that could revolutionize our understanding of planetary protection and space weather forecasting. Furthermore, the advancements in technologies to study these belts like those used in NASA's Van Allen probes mission, have significant implications for improving telecommunications and GPS technologies. Their continued study not only enriches basic science, but also fuels new innovations. Okay, so right here, in so many spots, he's saying that there's a ton of untapped potential to revolutionize our understanding. It can fuel new innovations. So he's really thinks we should keep investigating and putting research toward the Van Allen belt. Okay, so knowing that, he disagrees with this thing that the author 1 said. So our answer is the author of text 2 disagrees on text 1's thought that we should abandon the Van Allen belts and not spend our money researching them. So now we're going to look for an answer that says this. By emphasizing the critical role of Van Allen belts in astronaut safety, suggesting that without their study, we risk the lives of astronauts in space missions. So that is not really what text 2 is saying, remember? What text 2 is saying is, you're wrong, it's super important that we keep investigating because it's going to provide us with a ton of more information and could revolutionize fields and provide us new innovation. So B, by agreeing that the focus, once again, just by the word by agreeing or by emphasizing, we know that he's disagreeing with it. So he's not agreeing with this. So B can immediately be eliminated. C, by pointing out that ongoing research on the Van Allen belts continues to drive technological innovations that benefit sectors like telecommunications and global positioning systems, which are economically substantial. Great. So once again, this seems right. He's saying, actually not so fast. It provides a ton of technological innovations, and we should keep investigating it. So C seems like the right answer. We'll go to D, though. By proposing that the technological advancements from studying the Van Allen belts could lead to the development of new, revolutionary forms of energy that might replace traditional fossil fuels, thereby transforming the global energy market. This isn't even talked about, and they might try and throw these in because essentially it also agrees that he's saying, no, we should keep investigating it, but this isn't the reason he's saying we should keep investigating it. They're not even talking about fossil fuels. It's not mentioned once. They're maybe hoping you just read the word fuels here, even though it's a completely different context, and went with D. But remember, it has to be true based on the passage still. So C is going to be our correct answer based on the above information.